I want to go to two success factors. In my view, one is the Fraunhofer model and one is an InnoRegio funding scheme of the German government, and would like to say what is a successful innovation system. We were asked to come here to Russia with the joint question that we have with Professor who invited us, that is how to organize that research skills and research results turn into products and profit. And because an invention that can invent things becomes only an innovation when it is successfully introduced to the market. So what I'm going to speak about is collaboration between research, universities and industry. And this collaboration can be in a regional innovation system, as you have seen in North Carolina, or in a national innovation system. Speaking of Fraunhofer, we have 80 institutes, so it's rather large. I just took a few examples. We have some institutes that deal with chemistry. So as an example, they made thin layer solar cells, and they now are selling this technology to build energy plus houses. That means houses that do not consume energy, but they produce energy more than they need. Or another example from chemistry is composites from fiber and forced natural resin for lightweight parts in aircrafts. We sell that to Airbus. Or gluing processes, or in the field of optics, you see that they have joint efforts from the Fraunhofer Institute and the company Osram to have optics and software being combined with special lenses. The field of software skills turning into products is rather large in our organization. So, for example, once you have a patent in pattern recognition, you can sell that to detecting false documents for the police, for other applications, and you can rearrange text, for example, that was lost. Or many people know the MP3 player. That was a product made out of a method of compressing information. Or small microcomputers, very small, 10 by 10 millimeters, with all the things that you have in a computer, and we are using that now to do it, to follow the logistic path of products through a factory and to do a self-organizing production. And one last example I want to give is the inspection robots for pipelines, and this is a service that really Fraunhofer sells to Russian oil and gas companies. So a mold, that's a very huge thing, goes through the pipelines and detects the cracks and gives a report where there has to be some repair. So in all these cases, Fraunhofer did research, it find a basic solution and turned that into a product. Why the name Fraunhofer? It has nothing to do with women, so if you translate it word by word, it would be women court, but it is not that. It is the name of this nobleman, Mr. Fraunhofer, who 200 years ago, he was a researcher and he did invent new manufacturing processes, and he was the head of a company. So these three elements, research, invention, entrepreneur, that is the guideline for our association. And we have now 80 institutes with 7,000 employees and 7 alliances. You see that we are microelectronics production, where I come from, information technology, material science, life science, and defense. So now, what is the Fraunhofer model? In 1947, we founded the Fraunhofer Association because there was not enough technology transfer from universities. So the German government said, if there is a successful technical university in any field, being production or optics or software, we put the same person in charge of the Fraunhofer Institute. We have students working at the technical universities, part are studying, part-time working at Fraunhofer, and we are between the position of a consultant, who is purely industry-oriented, and a university which is basically research-oriented. So we are neither a consultant nor a pure researcher, or we are both. Take it as you want. So we apply scientific methods, but only for topics that are needed in industry. And our financial structure is roughly a third as the basic funding, a third from public projects where we compete with other universities or other research people, and 30% industrial contracts where we work directly for industry, like a consultant. But the topic is always development or consulting. But Fraunhofer has an effect, but we do not overestimate it. So if you see, we have now 1.6 billion budget, but 30 times as much is spent by the industry itself for research, and 8 times as much is consumed by universities. So Fraunhofer is only one of the players in a German research landscape. And without the strong involvement of industry, we could not create innovation. So a regional innovation system, I had the opportunity to form a group of 800 companies in our region of Berlin. Such a regional innovation system has the companies as the core. It needs regional network managers, and we saw some services that are given in North Carolina to the companies, the same in Germany. We have the regional government being involved, and the regional universities or Fraunhofer or other research labs. And only this cooperation makes the regional innovation system being successful. And also the banks have to give their share. And in Germany we have one other positive element, and this is professional and branch associations that give also a technology upskilling to the industry. So it is the Association of German Engineers, the Association of Machine Tool Manufacturers, and other association of car manufacturers. They give courses, they give written material of how to do supply chain management or how to do quality management or other topics. So what are the instruments to have a regional innovation system? First you have to find where are you strong in. In the case of Carolina it's pharmaceuticals, bio points that they made as their regional strength. Then you have to find the market opportunities. Often a university has no experience in where is the market strong, or even a company or a startup says, we have a wonderful product, we want to push it, but they have no skills how to detect the market potential for that. And in the West, we often try to get more companies in a value chain. In the East, when I was here in Russia before, I was more saying shorten your value chain, do more outsourcing. It is strange for me that Afterwas has an in-house value of 80%, where all other car manufacturers in the world have 25, 30, 40%. So making everything in-house is really a particular, maybe Russian philosophy. So when I worked with industry in Berlin-Brandenburg, you could say, oh, you have BMW, you have Siemens, Bombardier, all in your region, you can be very happy to have big names and big companies. Yes, that sounds good, but we have about 850 producing companies, small ones, but we have no system suppliers. So when I analyzed where do these big companies in our region source from, it was only 3 to 5% maximum that they work with other industry. So they were sourcing from more West Germany, sourcing from Italy, sourcing from South Germany, but not from the region. So my task was to find out the profiles of my companies, my local ones, and ask what the big ones want, and then support the small ones and make tailored offers from small companies to big. And this is one of the lessons that I would like to give to you, or offer my help to bring more collaboration between the companies also here in regions. We have a number of so-called clusters. Just in the region of Berlin-Brandenburg alone, we could see the same in Hamburg or in Munich or in Stuttgart. So we have an automotive cluster, aircraft cluster, optical cluster that is strong in Adlershof, and the next speaker will more show how this technology path works. Logistic cluster, metalwork cluster, software cluster. So you see that, and many of them are publicly supported. You see that the regional government knows that the collaboration of companies is important. But that was not the case for public support for this in the last 20 years. It just came up in the last 5 years. I said I will also name the InnoRegio program as a good factor. I leave out the first example, Mr. Adlershof, because that will also be explained now. And we have a program of 6 years to have several regional innovations. That was also the first in Germany that the national government, national Ministry of Economics and of Research did give money not for a particular invention or innovation, but for the collaboration of universities, industry and public bodies. So in 26 areas they formed regional clusters where they had sometimes focal big companies like Bombardier Transportation in our region or the Volkswagen in the Marek region, and also the company Schott in the optic network, where they grouped small companies, spin-offs, service companies all around a larger company, and organized by seminars that they would interact with each other. And that really gave a new entrance of the universities to the companies, and it gave a new collaboration between larger companies and smaller companies in one region. I just come back from Split in Croatia, where they asked me to talk about technology parks they want to open. And here again, the collaboration of the university, of the focal enterprise, of the SME and the technology park, and of the federal government is the right way of, I call it a role concept, of having new roles of all these partners in their form of collaboration. And I speak about regional innovation, but the focus should be the international market, so even the startups can look where they can sell to, and the focal enterprise can also, by some innovative development, we have a broader market. How can we help such companies? We as Fraunhofer Institute, we go into companies and say, what if they are small companies, they have no big bank account, they don't have big money, but what can they have as assets? And assets is intellectual capital. So we have developed a method to check the human capital, what does individuals have as skills. The structural capital often is not known, so in form of cooperation they have the management, the leadership, and relational capital. This is the most undiscovered resource that a company has. So what is the relation to the customers? What is the relation to the suppliers, to public bodies, to seed capital and others? So we are checking this and giving advice how to strengthen it. A second tool that we are using is the benchmarking method. We have European data of 100,000 SMEs, and we can benchmark how is the performance of the small company, of the supplier, to be in this region. And to show how this can be a supportive rule, we are lucky in Germany that we have companies who make profit, like last year, for example, BMW, just taken as example. They pay, of course, taxes. These taxes go to the ministry, not all, but some. And just for the two topics, one is how to create an innovation culture. We received 15 million euros to research that program. I did research myself. And the other is how to find new innovation strategies. We have 166 projects just for this topic. So then we are able to do this research on innovation management and technical research, help suppliers to become more innovative, and then you have a positive circle strengthening itself. So at the end, just what is the national innovation system and what are, I say, 7 parameters of strength. One point is the base educational level, I think you are rather good here in Russia. There is not so much to be done on that. The other is, how is the further training, a lifelong training, organized? And maybe some things could be better here. Do the enterprises have at all internal budgets for research, or do they say we are producing, you need no research? Hopefully you have more enterprises that see research as their task. Then you have the universities, many universities in Russia, but how devoted are they to third-party contracts? And then the last two big success factors, one is, is there a cooperation willingness between enterprises and universities? And this is often not the case, also not in Germany. But our research funds in Germany, they often require that we do joint research. I'm now 20 years in project work, and I now have one first project without direct industry involvement. All the others required, whatever topic, I won't have to be funded, that industry is on board, so they tell me what they need, and my results go into that. And what I'm a bit worried about, if I think of Russia, what are the values in your society? Is it trade, like in the Arabic world? Is it science? Is a scientist high ranked or not? So I'm told in old Russia, yes. What is if someone produces something? Is he high ranked in society? Yes, in Japan, yes, in Germany, in Scandinavia. What is with Russia? Or is it just a rich person that is highly ranked? Is that the new Russia? Or a public position, military? Or are those celebrities or sports or art highly ranked? Or is it the inventor or entrepreneur? So this is what is the philosophy of your society, and how do the media report about it. So, thank you for listening to my talk.